I enjoy coming to St. Louis because Cardwell's is a traditional stop for us. We've known you now for 20 years?
22 years, yeah.
20 years, what an amazing thing.
When you have shrimp, save the shells, saute them in a little olive oil. And then it's strained, and then you end up with this beautiful aromatic broth like I have here. These are heirloom grits, which means they were ground from heirloom varieties of corn. They're also called quick cooking grits since they will cook in a matter of 5 to 10 minutes versus hours. You'll see this looks fairly thin now. Let them simmer for about 15 minutes or so. Taste them once they've simmered. Make sure that you don't have a raw corn taste. And as you can see, once we've added the cheese and the butter, we have kind of a really nice flowing porridge. So once we've added our cheese and butter to the grits, we're just going to simply keep them warm. We have our shrimp stock coming to a boil. We made a mixture called Burmani. It's a blend of butter and flour, similar to a roux, but we haven't cooked it. And we're going to incorporate the Burmani into a hot stock. So just want to make sure we let the sauce simmer pretty well because we want to cook out any raw flour. What I also like to add is also a pinch of a homemade hot chili sauce and make it as spicy or not as spicy as you like. We're going to simply season the shrimp with a little salt and a little Old Bay seasoning, which is a fairly traditional southern seafood seasoning. We have our skillet heated. I use a little olive oil. I don't like to use real big shrimp for shrimp and grits. Shrimp do not take very long to cook. We're going to turn it down a little bit. We don't want them to cook too hard. And they'll start to turn nice and pink. You're going to see what's going to happen here in a second. We're actually going to give them a little color in the pan, and they're turning pink. It takes a few minutes. Once the shrimp have a nice little color, I'm going to remove them out of the pan. And they're still not quite totally cooked. Now we're going to add our wonderful smoky country ham. And what makes this different than other ham is that this is a salted and very long smoked ham that they typically would do in a smoke shed. Big old barn in the south, you'd see these barns. And then they're dried for months, typically up to a year. And one thing to remember, the ham is fairly salty, so you want to make sure your shrimp gravy isn't overly salty. Now we're going to add gravy into the pan with the shrimp. And it's going to let those shrimp bathe in that gravy a little bit, and it's going to take on more shrimp flavor, and it's going to finish cooking those shrimp nicely. Then we're going to add a nice amount of freshly cut green onion to the gravy. We're going to simply pour that over.
It smells so good. What contributing to the aromas?
The country ham, and we have a really rich shrimp gravy, which we put a little bit of homemade hot sauce in.
Oh man, yeah. What's in homemade hot sauce?
The homemade hot sauce we just made last week. We make a big batch every year. It's either jalapenos, ripe jalapenos, habaneros, or whatever, and they're cooked down with vinegar, sugar, and tomato and onion pureed. We make gallons of it, freeze it. Yeah, it's great. How does it go with the wine? That's the kipper. That Chardonnay is delicious.
This is a nice, rich dish, so it goes well with some of the richness in the Chardonnay.
Yeah, there's nice acid in the Chardonnay, kind of cut through that richness.
We work hard to keep it nice and fresh, and the acid's crisp, and so that's part of what's balancing this out. We night harvest and whole cluster press to keep nice fresh fruits. The apples and pears aromas that it produces is the important part.
Fantastic.
Corn and Chardonnay is a natural food pairing, however you do it, so corn and Chardonnay you can't miss.
Yeah, it's true. Not even just about, does it?
Excellent. Cheers, thanks.
Cheers.